it's just the little things, like I'm able to switch all this stuff on. The headlights, taillights, the blinkers work. Oh. Well, this wasn't high on my list of things I wanted to deal with today. Thanks, road construction. Good thing I was on the way to the shop anyway. Well, this is an advertisement for Falcon. Yeah, no, they took that like a champ. I pulled the fender out, and as you can see, it's got bent. It was in the tread, just like that. And I coated it all with the rubber cement tire patch stuff. Not a single bubble has come out of it. It didn't even puncture the tire. It just... Nice. These tires are awesome. Well, that's a sign of things. Hopefully we got some more good luck today. Well, with that out of the way and that bullet dodge. Hey, how's it going, guys? I have been real busy. I know I hadn't uploaded anything in a few weeks, but it's because I've been super busy trying to get the CRX like content worthy, like actually doing something worthwhile. So with that in mind, I got it started. It lives. It's alive. But let me kind of go over everything, kind of show you what I've been up to. So I've been going over the entire engine. I was having a problem starting it for a while, and I couldn't knock down the exact reason why. So I put a ton of money into it. I bought the Rywire mil-spec Raychem K24 to Haltech standalone wiring harness. I went ahead and redid all my fuel system to K-tuned, radium, fuel pressure regulator, all those lines ran. I went and bought a Rywire PDM. I had the Haltech there. I got the whole standalone harness, full chassis wiring, front to tip to tail, everything. And I couldn't get it started. I couldn't figure out why for the life of me. And I finally nailed down, after I tested every single sensor, I was getting 12 volts to the injectors, 12 volts to the coils. All my crank position was good. All my VTEC stuff was good. The intake and exhaust cam sensors were good. The map sensor was good. The TPS I had to rebuild. Whole different story for another time. And I couldn't figure out. So I was like, all right, well, it has to be something in the tune. So I contacted Haltech, and they told me immediately what was wrong. So they said they've seen this problem before with Rywire, and it's not Rywire's fault, but they don't initially wire the switch in PDM to have an ignition. You have to wire that in yourself, and I hadn't done that yet, and I was just trying to start it. So what was happening is the starter was cranking over, but the ECU didn't know to fire the injectors and to fire the coils. So Haltech told me to turn off one sensor for the ignition module in the Haltech software. Started right up first kick, no problems at all. All my fueling, all that stuff worked just out fine. I fixed some of the leaks on initial shakedown. But it's great. I couldn't be more excited. I finally got this stinking thing started. So what I've been doing the last few weeks is I have my fuel tank kind of set up here how I want it. It's not permanent. I couldn't afford the real nice fuel tank that I wanted that goes back there in the spare tire area. So I've been working with this one. This is supposed to fit like an EG, like in the stock location. And I like that's got the stock lines over there, and I'll show you that here in a second. But I built this little bracket here for my fuel pump and my fuel filter. I have an isolator coming. It's got rubber isolators to kind of keep it from vibrating because that can kill fuel pumps. And I actually have this mounted to rubber so it's not straight to the chassis. There's a little bit of dampening built into that as well. More stuff over here. The reason I wanted to mount it like this is I wanted to kind of keep this pretty easy so where the stock fill neck could actually fill this. So what I'm going to do today also is I got the stuff to cut this off. I'm going to run a line to here. That way I can use the factory fill. It just makes it easier on life. And I have to figure out something to do for the vent too. But I have the return lines, I have everything ran here. I have this mounted up pretty well, the way I wanted it. The fuel lines are all ran here, all inside the cab, all out of harm's way from rotating mass or other rally stuff. Yesterday I went ahead and bled the clutch, so now I have a working clutch pedal. Feels great. I'm not super excited, but I had to rebuild the master cylinder because it was stuck. And it's just because I got this all at the junkyard out of an EG. So I'll probably go ahead and buy a brand new reservoir line and master. That way I don't have to worry about that seizing back up and have to rebuild it again. Let's see if I can fire it up right quick for you guys. So when I gave it gas, it died there, and I think my TPS may need to be recalibrated. I've been having some weird issues with that. So long story short is I had to rebuild it, because this one was broke off and I didn't have an extra one. The only one I had was the reverse mount, which the butterfly opens backwards in the throttle body. So I actually took the guts out of this and found out it's just the spring is different in this. The springs rotate different ways. So I swapped out the springs and got this TPS to work just fine for me. So I was really excited that worked out. Man, yeah. Now I've actually been able to cut loose and actually do a little bit of work on that. And that brings me to today. So today, I'm going to see if I can't drive this thing out of here. And hopefully you've already seen a clip of it at least moving under its own power. If not, then I have failed miserably. But when I was going through this, I was trying to figure out everything. And I was trying the RSX base axles into the hub that I had. And it wasn't working. It was loose. I was like, oh, that's weird. And I looked up the code on here. And it is a, yeah, so it's an LH3-H knuckle. And I looked that up. And they are, in fact, SI, EX, EF, CRX. And I was wondering, I was like, they must have replaced this with the B series swapped because they didn't fit with the K series stuff. But I had this extra one that I actually ordered just one for some reason. And actually had a brand new wheel bearing also. And here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one, the wrong side. And voila, there we go. Fits great, and that'll work well. So I'll have at least one side done. And I'm pretty sure the other side is still CRX SI because the other axle fits in there decently. I still have some questions about that, so I may not be able to drive it today. We'll see how far we get. This one actually went really well. I actually found out a tip. I don't know if anybody knows this. I've been working on EFs for a very long time, as you guys know. And I saw someone do this, and I was like, what? That's what that is? So, you know, you have to usually have a pickle fork or some kind of ball joint separator for all this stuff. Well, I know it's going to make me sound stupid in the Honda world, but these flat spots here, on here where the top ball joint is, this big flat spot here, and then the flat spot down here on this, or sorry, it's on this. If you hit the crap out of it with a hammer, just one good tap, they all just fall right out. I've been struggling with those for years, and I saw someone do that. I was like, oh, can you do it that easily? Sure enough, yeah. No, it was that easy. It's crazy. It saved me so much time. I have to get the separator out and do all that stuff. I didn't have to grease them, didn't have to heat them up, didn't have to put any kind of penetrating oil. Came right off. With that said, I'm going to keep going, moving along on this. Get the axle in there, get this mounted back up, and this side will probably be finished here shortly. All right, got that swapped out in record time. New hub, new wheel bearing. That grinding, don't worry about it. It's the heat shield, the dust shield that I didn't take off because, of course, I didn't. It'll be a self-clearance and nothing else. I'll take it back off when I redo this stuff because this is just kind of a mock-up. There's no cotter pins in it. It's just all torqued down. I just want to see proof of concept, like always. I want this thing to be moved under its own power as soon as possible. That way I kind of clear up some shop space and get this thing really going down the road. Yeah, so this is all together. I'm going to go, I don't know if I'll probably won't even put the axle nut on this yet. I'll probably go ahead and put the wheel back on here, work on the other side, and see what we're doing. Alright, well, I got a lot done today. I got the axles all put in. I got the hubs put back together. The knuckles all put back together. Man, I am having some kind of weird intermittent start issue, and it's really got me bummed out about this whole thing. Hello, it's me from the future. It's quite chilly here in the future, so I figured out what was going on with this. So I've had this weird issue with the TPS. When I rebuilt it, I wasn't super satisfied with it. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Unplugged it, plugged it back in, and now I'm getting the correct voltage at the ECU. So when I was trying to start it the other day, it wouldn't start, and when it did start, as soon as I touched the throttle, it died out. So that told me TPS messing up again. I found that in my studies of the whole K series, trying to diagnose why it wouldn't start. And so that's another benefit of completely going through every single system. I'm going to add this to the video. We are just about done here. Actually, pretty neat. As I got the keypad hooked up. Got some momentary switches on here. That's actually, I wired that to the fan just to see if I could do it. Of course, I have a fan hooked up right now, but it's just kind of neat to have the keypad hooked up, lit up, doing its thing. Everything's all willy-nilly still here. So that slight rattle you heard, I was going to try to drive this thing with the hub that I had in here on this side, but it's still the wrong size hub. I'm pretty sure that's from a B series. When I put that axle in there, it felt like it was catching enough to maybe rotate it, But as soon as I put any kind of, as soon as I let out the clutch, it just started making a clicking noise and just wasn't going to do anything. So I just decided not to mess with it, not try to push it. It's obviously not going to turn the wheel in its current state. So I do have the new hub and wheel bearing on the way. I'll swap that out in the next video and get that all taken care of. And then this thing will be 100% ready to pull itself out of here under its own power. The clutch is working fantastically. I'm able to see the axles turn. And when I put the clutch in, everything stops. And it's really came along. It's come a long way. And I'm so happy about this. So with that much more proper ending to a video, I will catch you guys soon. I do need to make a junkyard run. There's quite a few junkyard parts that need to go in here, so we'll be doing a junkyard video pretty soon, probably the end of this week, hopefully. Hopefully it'll get a little nicer. It's been raining, it's been cold and miserable. I'm so stoked. I have a bunch of parts in the way, little things here and there. The big parts I'm gonna hold off on until I drive it out and drive back in. That way I can just kind of start cleaning up what I have, because there's a lot of cleanup here. I gotta clean up the ECU, the PDM, all that area over there, the battery. Got a lot of work ahead of me, but it's good news for you all, because that's a lot of content. So I'll catch you guys soon, and bye-bye.